Verse 19, by the sweat of your face you shall eat bread till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Now, for those of us who have known nothing but the fallen world, death is a bit scary, all right? For someone who had a moment when death didn't exist, can you imagine the shudder that must have run through their bodies when this is the pronouncement? For out of the dust you were taken, dust you will return. And now all that was peace and all that was prosperous becomes death and decay, becomes fear and anxiety. And fear and anxiety began to work in the hearts of men and women in a horrific way. And to this day, robs the children of God from the delight in God that they should walk in, the peace and the prosperity that they should walk in. Now, since I'm using the word prosperity, and that's a dangerous word, I need to back up a little bit and let's chat. So, yes, God's good and creative design is that men and women were created by God in innocence and in honor, all right? In innocence, guilt-free, and honor of high value and dignity, and they were given peace and prosperity. But you need to look right at me right now. Those were not the end game, but rather were an overflow of the relationship they had with God. And so ultimately, innocence and honor weren't an end in themselves, but rather flowed freely from an intimate relationship with God. And the absence of innocence and honor wasn't because they did certain things, but rather because they had been cut off from right relationship with God. So what we're after is not peace and prosperity, but rather to be redeemed and reconciled to our Heavenly Father, from whom flows peace and prosperity. So the end goal is God. The end goal is not really what God brings about in a life that's reconciled to Him, but rather God Himself. Because God is our peace. God is our innocence. It's the righteousness of God that redeems us. Not our righteousness, His righteousness. He's our innocence.